Absolutely. I think the thing is I made an effort to immerse myself in their culture and to try and take the best things out of their culture and to also introduce them to my culture, because the French population is incredibly aware that I'm Australian with Italian heritage, of course, and the fact that I have an Anglo-Saxon sensibility as well as a Mediterranean sensibility, it's an interesting mélange, as we say. It's just a great mix, and I think that comes through. And the very first thing I did in French was a song called Aller plus haut, which means I want to go high. And that song just took off. And it was really a recording experiment for me, because I remember being very clear with the record company at the time, saying to them, if this doesn't sound right, I said, please, you know, I don't want to subject myself to any ridicule, you know, just because you people think that I can do it, or you think that I sing with a cute accent, you know. So I said, let's do the right thing here. I also don't want to take the mickey out of the French artistic community, because I'm not here to do that. You know, I'm privileged to be able to sing in English, Italian, I sing a little bit in Spanish and French. And they initially instigated it, the French, because they knew that I was able to sing in Italian and Spanish. And they went, well, if you can sing in those two languages, why wouldn't you try French? And I went, well, yeah, you're right, so let's have a go. And it took off.
There's a certain resistance in France, I sense, and I'm a great Francophile, let me tell you. I've brought great French companies to Australia, and I'm mad about it. My favourite city in the whole world, I think, is Paris.
I understand.
But they have this feeling often that they want to make their own stars. They don't particularly want to say, oh, X is big in America, therefore it's going to be big in France. They like to actually stand back a little, don't you think, and say, okay, well, we'll decide whether we like this artist.
Well, you know, they don't like... They don't like imposition.
Exactly.
They're really not great people. Culturally, they don't like things imposed on them, and I totally respect that. And I certainly didn't want to impose myself on them either. But I think the fact that I was Mediterranean, it was very interesting to them, as well as being a kangaroo. You know, they were kind of like, oh, that's a very interesting mix.
They probably don't like the imposition of American culture, maybe.
No, they don't.
They resist it almost.
Absolutely. We've embraced it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had to embrace it to a certain extent. We all speak the same language, so that's understandable. But the French are very resistant. That's why their culture is incredibly rich. They have age, they have time, they have stories to tell. We're a very young country.
And they have their own culture too. I mean, you know, their contribution in dance and music and art has been absolutely mind-boggling.
Right.
You can't
Not to mention food and wine.
Well, we
Two
love
of the
to
greatest
mention
pleasures
that.
of life. That's another interview altogether.
Tell us your favourite restaurant in Paris, and I'll tell you mine.
I really like Bistro Lip on Boulevard Saint-Germain.
Yes, on the left bank. The Brasserie Lip is terrific, isn't it? And it's always been a great left bank institution.
Yeah, it's just a great brasserie where you go in there, service is old-fashioned, it's great. The guys are really grumpy, but, you know, if you go in there and smile at them, maybe flutter your eyelashes a couple of times, they'll be like, okay. You know, so they're pretty cool, and the food is fantastic.
It's very, very good. It's in that tradition of the Alsatian brasserie.
Exactly.
Exactly like Beaufangère, which was near the Bastille. It's another great restaurant which I like a lot there.
Absolutely.
My favourite's L'Ami Louis, though. I think the roast chicken at L'Ami Louis...
I don't think I've ever eaten there.
Oh, you've got to do it. I'll send you the address. And you've got they've got the same grumpy waiters, and they're a bit of hauteur there.
Yeah.
But